Good morning. So let's suppose for a second that if time is always right now, it's never the future, it's never the past, it's always right now. And if we think about what we want or what we don't want, that's going to determine the world that we live in. Just think about that for a second. So as I'm browsing through Facebook, it's a daily thing. There's always something, sometimes every once in a while I'll get on and it's more colorful with positivity. Generally, someone's complaining about something. Trump this, Trump that, racism this, racism that. It's usually like a lot of like a political kind of conversation, but there's just, it's a negative ways that we're talking about things. We're complaining constantly about things. So I was just thinking this morning, I was like, what if more of us were taking a moment to visualize what we want to see? I think we've done a good enough job, like for the Black Lives Matter movement as an example. I think we've done a great job determining what it is that we don't like to see. We want equality, right? I think that's what the movement's about. So if that's what it is that we want, if we could focus more and talk more about what that looks like. We talk about what all these things that Trump does that we don't like. Instead of it being constantly pointing out the things that we don't like, why don't we paint this picture of what we want it to look like? And I thought to myself, if we had this day where we all came together, and maybe not everybody, because it's kind of hard to think that everyone would all do this at the same time. But if we had this day that we really just kind of sat back and visualized and talked about what would the world look like in the way that we want it to look like. If the world looked the way we wanted it to, what would that look like? What would that sound like? What would that feel like? Can we share more of what the world we want to see, rather than pointing out the world that we don't like as it is? And let's make what we want to be as it is now. If we can't make that change happen, what we can change is what we say about it. We can change our narrative of what we want it to be, what we want it to look like, sound like, feel like. And I just have this feeling like if more of us did that, man, it would probably feel magical how we can come together and make the world what we want it to be.